Good evening, all. Welcome to the session 2 of module 4 for the course Java and J2EE ISC 641. And the session 2 will try to convey and able to describe the different types of drivers which are used in the market for the development of the products, database products using the Java application programming language. And in the previous session, we discussed about what is meant by the JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. How do you perform the database connectivity in general? The mechanism we have discussed, how exactly the process is defined, the translation of the calls and all that basic information we discussed in the previous session. And we got a knowledge about the types of drivers and what are the different types of drivers and what is mean by a driver, what exactly it does when you are dealing with the Java programming and a database. If you want to communicate both the things together, so what is the role of it? So that we have discussed. And now we'll move on to the types of drivers. Those are well known in the market. There are four types of drivers are identified by Sun Microsystems. Type 1 driver, type 2 driver, and type 3 driver, and a type 4 driver. So type 1 driver is a JDBC ODBC call. That is ODBC is the Object Database Connectivity Portal that is available in respect to most of the databases, and followed by the type 2 driver, which uses the native calls like C, C++ calls to the database, and the third one is JDBC and networked tire and networked the driver, and which communicates to the database, and the fourth one is the pure JDBC driver, which gives a better performance compared to the other types of drivers. So we'll try to explore these four drivers along with the block diagram of these drivers, how I have used this, and the advantages and disadvantages of these four types of drivers. So with respect to examination point of view, it is very important to consider the types of JDBC driver, usually a 10 marks question. So that we need to focus here. And sometimes explain the JDBC, ODBC type 1 driver with the block diagram, probably a 5-mark question or something like that. The questions will be asked from the topic. So we'll start with the types of drivers, and I will share the screen with the presentation. Yeah. So this was this multi-tier architecture, JDBC calling the JDBC driver, and here we start actually the types of JDBC drivers. So there are mainly four types of drivers. Type 1 driver, so JDBC ODBC bridge. Type 2 driver, we call it as a native API driver. And type 3 driver, we call it as a network protocol driver. Also, we call it as a middleware driver. And type 4 driver is a database protocol driver, or we call it as a pure database or a pure Java driver. So among these four types of drivers, the popularly used by most of the programmers to build the Java applications using the database connectivity, which is a type 4 driver. So which is one of the popular driver, and it gives a best performance among these four. And also we'll be discussing the advantages of the type 4 driver and how it gives a better performance compared to the others. So we'll move on to the type 1 driver. So this is the block diagram for the type 1 driver, where it defines first the Java application code, or Java API, whatever the JDBC API or Java API associated with the JDBC process now. You are writing the Java program using those library functions. So that we call it as application code. These application code or a Java code need to be translated to type 1 driver. That is understandable by the type 1 driver. And this driver, what we call it as a JDBC ODBC bridge. I need to say your Java code need to get translated to the ODBC understandable format, which is one of the most popular and used by most of the DBMS developers, that they give as a reference for communication with the databases by the applications. In older days, this is one of the popular, and most of the databases today also they will come up with the ODBC, which object database connectivity, which can other programs can communicate with the database in order to store and retrieve the data. And this ODBC calls now, which will be given as the input for ODBC driver, and the job of ODBC driver is to convert those ODBC calls into database specific statements that is understandable by the DBMS, and those queries will be executed here and it will be written back, and again translation happen in turn back to the Java application, so and we will be able to produce the results over here. And here network communication and database servers and a proprietary vendor and a specific protocol will be used. And we have a couple of databases, maybe Oracle, Sybase, or we can have MySQL, we have DB2 server, and so on. So for all these types of database servers, so different proprietary vendor specific protocol will be used for the ODBC transmission. So these are the couple of features of the type 1 driver. So some of these features already I have covered here in the whole explain the block diagram. Type 1 driver, which acts as the JDBC bridge between the JDBC and the ODBC bridge, which acts as a bridge between the JDBC and the ODBC. ODBC, it is one of the notation that is used for communicating with the DBMS. And JDBC bridge, which is used to access ODBC drivers installed on each client machine. Here, if you are connecting to the four database servers four database servers for your application, you should be able to identify those drivers only through the ODBC drivers. When the Java has been released for the first time with the JDK 1.2, and this ODBC bridge has been released. I mean, type 1 driver is defined in order to communicate with the ODBC driver that is associated with the DBMS. So it was very useful driver because most of the databases that supports for the ODBC is what I explained earlier with respect to the block diagram. And one of the main advantage of this type 1 driver is almost any database in the market that will come up with the ODBC driver. And if you have a type 1 driver, directly you can communicate with the database in order to store and retrieve your data, and you can build the applications. And major disadvantage of this type 1 driver is the two levels of translation. One is from Java to the JDBC calls, then followed by again to the ODBC call, and further to the database specific syntax such as the structured query language. The JDBC driver, it will translate your Java API to ODBC understandable format, and second level translation is ODBC notations to the SQL specific notations that will be done by the ODBC driver or ODBC. And one more thing is always when you are using this feature or this type of driver, every time you should be able to install the ODBC driver along with your database. So if you have the driver, then only you can have a communication with the database. Depends on the ODBC driver, so Java applications also become indirectly depend on the ODBC driver. So these are a couple of limitations. So one major advantage is, which is common advantage. Disadvantage is here two level of translation and performance is there will be a burden on the performance, and performance is not so good compared to others. Second one, JDBC native API. In the JDBC native API, you are writing a Java program and you are type to native API driver, which used to translate your Java API call to native C or C++ calls, which means which is having a close communication with the DBMS software that is used for storing your data. So that native call, you may have a native call different for different types of databases that will be taken care by the DBMS specific drivers. Again, the remaining thing is it remains the same. And here type 2 driver, what we do is a couple of features, advantages and disadvantages will be like this. JDBC calls converts into the native API calls, which are unique to the database. As I mentioned, this C or C++ API calls are very specific to the database. And these drivers are typically provided by the database vendor itself. If MySQL has the driver, MySQL database developers, MySQL database product developers, they define a C or C++ API calls. We call it as a Java native interface or JNI calls that will be given by them. It is a bit similar how your the JDBC calls are converted to ODBC call, and then in terms of the DBMS specific code. Here the JDBC ODBC bridge is similar. The Java native API are also a bit similar to this concept. And if you change the database, we have to change the native API, which is a bit similar to the ODBC. ODBC, it is common for all the type of data, but this native API is specific to that particular database. And we call it as a type 2 driver, and as it eliminates the ODBC's overhead because of a lot of translation of the statements over there to minimize that overhead. And this driver has been evolved, and that's why as the second phase of driver development, we call it as a type 2 driver. We call it as an Oracle Call Interface or OCI or WebLogic OCI driver are a couple of examples for the type. For Oracle database, you have a OCI, that is Oracle Call Interface, and for WebLogic server, you have a WebLogic OCI driver, and sample for native API drivers. Advantage is a bit faster compared to the JDBC ODBC bridge, that is a type 1 driver. Disadvantages, which requires the native library to be installed on each client machine. For example, OCI library need to be installed in order to access the Oracle database by the Java program. And any issue in the type driver can crash the client function. This is the one biggest risk we have in case of a type driver. And it will be a bit costlier compared to type 1 feature. And portability is a major concern here because these C or C++ API calls or we call it as a Java native interface calls are specific to the database. So a Java program straight away cannot connect to that database by using a common set of instructions. So these are the couple of features. Now we'll move on to the type 3 driver. The type 3 driver, we have a net pure Java code, which is JDBC type 1 driver, type 2 driver, and the type 4 driver will be there as a middleware, and your Java API calls are get translated into the driver specific code. So the details of this, it is a three-tier approach is used to access the databases. JDBC calls from Java applications are get translated to a type 3 driver into a middleware server specific calls, as I mentioned in the figure we have shown. And also the driver communicates with the middleware server over a network socket. So these translations are communicated over the. Of course, if you take a Java program and a database, so your Java program needs to communicate with another software entity called the database management software system. And if the two software entities need to communicate with each other, there should be some way, some point of connection between them. So that is nothing but the network port, we call it as, which will propagate over the network socket. So sockets are used, socket is defined as the endpoint of communication. So using sockets, the Java and the DBMS will communicate with each other. Here, the Java API codes are get translated to the next level of code, that is a type 1, type 2, and type 4 driver over the network. And these type 1, type 2, and type 4 are the DBMS specific drivers. Advantage is a much better performance compared to type 1, since there is no JDBC or UBC translation, because this is also Java related and this is also Java related, and server as all Java driver. So both the level of the Java driver itself. So overhead is quite less here. And disadvantages are as due to the number of network calls. So number of network calls in the type 3 to type 1, type 3 to type 2, and type 3 to type 4, and all that. So number of calls are more, so it may affect the performance. So it is bit costly compared to others. And the last one is the type 4 driver. That is a 100% pure Java driver, which is most popularly used. And for the further example, what I'm taking, this driver only will be considered for the demonstration of the applications and the configuration of a code, whatever the library I am explaining, it is targeting with respect to type 4 driver. So in this, we call it as a pure Java driver, which converts the code directly to the DBMS understandable code. And the only thing is, you should have a DBMS specific driver should be installed or should be used as a part of your application. So when a DBMS developers, DBMS product developers, they'll give a JDBC drivers for that particular DBMS, for that particular database. So you should use that specific driver in your application in order to communicate with the database. So that is what the pure Java. So that will act as a intermediary between the Java application and the DBMS. The pure Java database, Java-based driver, which communicates directly to the vendor's database through a socket connection, should be similar to the third one. And here, as there is only one specific driver, you need not to burden about, you need not to worry about the couple of drivers what we have in case of type 3 driver. And this one will give the highest performance, the best performance compared to other one. And driver, your JDBC driver, what it does is it prepares a DBMS specific network message and then communicates with the database server over a socket. Again, it is a vice versa. So DBMS, it prepares a Java understandable format of the data in the form of the results, and it will be given back to the Java program, so which can extract and process the results. Because of this translation, we call it as a lightweight, a thin or a flexible driver in order to communicate with the DBMS. So in case of a MySQL database, we have a MySQL connector and we have a Java driver is an example for type 2 driver. A couple of advantages. Don't translate the request into the DB request to ODBC. So that reduces the overhead and which increases the performance. No middleware translation like in type 1 and type 2, and also in type 3, even though it is equal Java specific, but still there is a translation. Here only one level of translation is required. Most of the web applications mainly uses this driver in order to build the application. And the last one is a client side, a separate driver need to be included in your application in order to build the Java applications for each of the database. I mean, you have a Oracle, or you have a Sybase, or you have a DB2, or you may have a MySQL database. Each of these databases will give their specific driver to communicate with the Java. So that is a one major concern. But even if you include that also, it is not much burden compared to other types of drivers in the market. So here it goes the types of drivers in Java application. And the next question is which driver to be used. So among the one, of course, type 4 driver is the best one, which is giving the best performance among all. Suppose if you are accessing only one type of database such as Oracle or Sybase or IBM, you can straight away you can go for the type 4 driver. And if your Java application needs to communicate with more than one database, more than one DBMS, then you can go for the type 4 driver. Assume that I am building the student application where the data is stored in the one is stored in Oracle and one is stored in Sybase and another one is stored in IBM DB2. And for such cases, you can go for the type of driver. And if it is only one type of driver, if 3 servers are there, all 3 are Oracle only, then you have no worries. Straight away go for the type 4 driver. Coming to the type 2 driver, which is useful in situations where type 3 and type 4 drivers doesn't work or are not available in the market for any specific driver that you use for storing your databases. Type 1 driver, which is not at all recommended, and nowadays is a very oldest and almost obsolete concept for the JDBC process. So this is what the type of drivers: type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. So look at the question, and here all the classes and interfaces used in JDBC programs are found within the inbuilt package. So Java.SQL, Java.NET, Java.JDBC, and Java.DBMS. Among that, all our Java APIs are coming under this package called Java.SQL. Next one is steps to connect to the Java applications to database using JDBC API, which is very, very, very important and most frequently asked question for any of the exam related on the JDBC, which is usually a 10-mark question or 12-mark question. So we'll try to explore these details one by one. Of course, it is a lengthier concept, but it is very interesting. A couple of library functions are defined over there. So try to do it in the next session. There is a third session on JDBC. Thank you.